Okay, tonight we're going to continue on. I'm going to use the burnt umber tonight. This is the darker of the two browns that I use. This will represent more of a dirt or grime buildup. Unlike what I did with the burnt sienna where I used it to get the overall rusty tone to it, this will be done the same process, the same principle, but I'll be taking more of it off, much like I did with the white. There's not going to be a lot of the brown showing. It's going to help tone down the overall rust color, and I'm going to leave it and concentrate it so that it gets in along the seams, the ends, the door track, along the edges of the doors to kind of help highlight where dirt would be at. So I'm not going to sit here and bore you with a lot of verbiage tonight. It's just going to be putting it on, taking it off as much as I can, and I'll show you the finished product. Done a lot the same way. You put on about a dollop worth. Again, grab your mineral spirits. Several drops. Get it worked into a nice creamy consistency. And we'll start in. I'm not going to do anything to the roof this time as of yet. I'm going to do a different type of rusting technique to the roof, so we don't need this dirt on here. I'll build that up later on as we go along with chalks and using this and some black and orange paint. And for the time being, we'll just concentrate on the ends and the sides of the car now to get the dirt put on. Again, I start with a used Q-tip to get the worst of it off and to spread it out. Clean Q-tip will take it off too quick. I want to get it worked into the ribs, the frames, the edges of the doors. Looks dark now, but we'll get it cleaned up once I get this worked into it. Trying to be careful to take it off the outer surfaces and leave it tucked back up in underneath the rib points, along the rib points here, down inside the crack, especially down along the door track. And I'm trying to get it packed and work back up into the top up there underneath the roof eave. Okay, as you can see, I've left it on there. You can see it being a little bit darker. It overpowers the burnt sienna I put on the other night, whereas this looks really orange. This tones the overall color down. Takes the yellow down a little bit darker again, kind of brings it back to not really closer to the original color, but it still isn't so overpowering yellow. Plus, it adds to the. We're going to add into this rust here with some more paint as we go along, rust and chalks. So on purposely, I leave this area a little bit darker, then I don't have to work so hard at it later on when I get the powders and stuff into it. But what it does, as you can see, you can keep working this down and it brings that yellow back. You don't want a lot of this brown left on here. You want the darker brown into the real nooks and crannies, and at the same tone it tones that rust color down as a 4. While that looks good, this just kind of tones everything down a little bit, gives it that older rust color to it. I guess some people would call that highlighting it. Between the ribs, I really try to get a lot of it out. While I'm taking a bigger share of it off, you can also notice that it does have a tendency to show the darkness of it. The oil actually stains the dull coat. So even though you take off the bigger share of the pigment, it still tones everything down. And we'll stick a fork in that one. And again, what you've done compared to the original. Quite the difference. And it really doesn't take that much work, effort, or time. Now, moving on to the blue one, I'll do the same thing. Now on the blue, on the blue, the burnt sienna really shows up rusty, and it's almost too much. So that's what we're going to do with this. This is going to help tone that down. I don't want to get this blue car so dark that you can't see anything. But the burnt sienna just looks almost too orange in here. So this is the purpose of this burnt umber. It just tones the sienna down just a little bit. Darker the car is, the little harder it is to weather because it doesn't show up as much as what it does on a yellow car. So maybe in this case, what a person might try is to take this burnt umber and add a little bit of white to it or yellow to it to kind of help lighten it up so it isn't such a dark color. This here, it almost looks too rusty. When you put the brown on there, it tones it back down. And again, it's all to your own liking. If you like it like this, leave it like this. If you want a little bit different, a little darker, put some more browns on here and tone this down. It's all about what you like, or what suits your eye or pleases your eye. that one done. I think I'm going to try is some Payne's gray. Let me get this mess cleaned up, and we'll try something different. This is something I've been wanting to try for a while. I read somewhere along the line one time, instead of using a black wash, try a Payne's gray using the same principle I'm doing. Payne's gray is a really dark gray, but yet it's almost transparent. Let's give this a shot and see what happens. We're going to try this on the roof. Kind of add back some darker dirt, grime, soot. It looks black, but when it goes on, it has a dark gray appearance to it. Try this on here. Let's see if we can get rid of this tone, this rusty tone, a little bit, and bring back more of a soot color to it. Do it the same way we did the rest of the coats. Does look black. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. Yep, that gray tones that rust down just like the brown did. This, we're not going to take it all off. We're just going to rub this around. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this. May not be able to pick it up on the camera very well, but this is turning it more of a blackish brown. Gives it more of a soot appearance. Maybe you can see that better. We're still going to go back and rust the roof here in a little while when all this sets up, but it does kind of give it a nice undertone.